And welcome back to the Arctic. Now, 2020 has already been an incredibly hectic year, okay? And every time we think to ourselves, oh my god, it couldn't possibly get any worse, the universe chuckles, says hold my beer, and then it drops its pants and proceeds to crap in our mouths. But what I'm about to show you may just be the magnum opus of 2020's fuckery. And I know a few other YouTubers have already talked about this, but I feel like more people need to know about this. More people need to know about this so more people know to avoid it at whatever cost necessary. And I mean whatever cost necessary. Like, if you have to either punt an infant 60 yards or watch this show, you're gonna want to punt that infant.
Hey ladies.
There are going to be a couple ARC commandments throughout this video, alright? And this is number 1. This is ARC commandment number 1, alright? Never, and I repeat, never trust a man who has that kind of facial hair. His facial hair just screams, I give unprompted back rubs to drunk girls at parties. Phone, it's over there. This first video is entitled, Hey Baby, Sucky Sucky Boom Boom, Afro-Asian Boy.
You sucky sucky, me cocky cocky, me come come, chakalaka you get better, you get me baby come come, me tell baby, hey baby, you be cocky come down, baby me come down, hey baby.
Where am I? What is... Next video. You guys are still here? Did I tell you guys there was gonna be another clip? I'll have Kingston here tell you the bad news, alright?
Please help me. This man is holding me captive. He wants me to tell you this is the end of the video, which it is, but I need you to come rescue me. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends, or he won't feed me tonight.
Because it's not something tangible you get to keep.
That has to be the single most tone-deaf title of a book I have ever seen. And she has 2 copies of it. And she also wrote the book.
Brains have literally fallen out of our head. Do you realize that Starbucks wanted to take Christ and Christmas off of their brand new cups? That's why they're just plain red. In fact, do you realize it's...
Can you believe that, guys? Starbucks wanted to take Christ out of Christmas by changing their cups to plain red? You heard it here first, from the man wearing a plain red hat. One of the patients bullied the other patient.
Oh, bullies are scary.
Okay, yeah, so we've got a classic mystery scenario on our hands. Alright, so let's meet these patients. Now, when I first watched this episode, the permanent look of hatred and disgust glued onto this character's face, I wasn't sure what it meant. But then I went into his file name and it said bully.jpg, and I was like, oh, that guy's probably the bully.
What a nerd.
Nerd or stud?
Nerd.
Smart is the new sexy. I read that somewhere.
Oh, you read too? I'm impressed.
I read lots of things. Novels, magazines, instruction manuals.
If smart is the new sexy, then he must be the ugliest motherfucker alive.
Down here now! Look at this place! We need more!
It looks like we're going to war!
Yep.
Every time she opens her mouth, I want to defenestrate that woman. And for those of you who don't know what defenestrate means, it means to pick up and throw out of a window. Whoever decided that Tara Reid should play an educated character has to be the worst casting person of all time, okay? Casting Tara Reid as somebody who's meant to be educated it's like casting Robert Pattinson as somebody who's supposed to be absolutely jacked. Huh? They did what? They cast Robert Pattinson in the new Batman movie? Why on earth would they do that? He's built like a goddamn string bean. Okay, yeah, alright, Okay, bye-bye. The point still stands. It's a bad decision.
And it's actually a complete set that we've managed to get out of dumpsters.
I don't even think this is an Extreme Cheapskates video. I'm pretty sure this is just the origin story for Oscar the Grouch.
A baby, born into this world surrounded by trash. His parents, just as trashy as the trashy trash that surrounds him. Oscar the Grouch, the origin story, coming to theaters near you.
Barn animals.
What farm is that pig living on? Tegrity Farms? And for those of you who don't get the joke, that was a South Park reference. Tegrity Farms is a marijuana farm. See, the joke was the pig looks high as balls.
So the way I got the house is when my ex-husband and I decided to divorce. He's got a good heart, and he insisted that I keep the house because he knew that if I didn't keep the house, I would move into a hovel of a one-bedroom apartment to save money.
Oh, I am completely and utterly flabbergasted that the woman who doesn't own a single television produced after the 1970s got her expensive house through a divorce settlement.
Amy won't pay anyone to clean her home, so her ex-husband volunteers to do it for free.
I'm glad to help her around the house with the cleaning. I do yard work. I drive her to her appointments some once in a while.
Frickos and Forgets, we found him. The king of the simps. This man makes tier 3 Pokemon subs look like child's play. Out here washing her bathroom, chauffeuring her, doing her landscaping for no monetary compensation. All he wants in return is just to be fed lunch now and again. And she feeds him cat food!
What the hell's eating him? I bet you it ain't his girlfriend.
Mr. Sheriff, sir, I think you've got your sexual innuendos confused. Girls suck. Guys eat. If his girlfriend was eating him, that would be all the more reason to be an asshole.
Yeah. Even though you may have heard of that place. Howard, did you ever want to go?
I've always dreamed of living there.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say?
The fuck do you mean, what did you say? There's nobody on the other side of the phone, Wanky. You know exactly what was said. Nothing. You added in rarity post-edit. I've seen right through your lies, Wanky Red 14.
Mom, I died!
8 seconds. We are 8 seconds in. Why is this kid bathing in what appears to be the fecal matter of somebody who has eaten nothing but Taco Bell and Chipotle for the past 32 years?
My family and I are so cheap that we all share 1 tub of water a day.
Okay, that almost explains it. Almost. But unless one of your family members is the Scooby Snack monster from the 10th episode of the 2nd season of What's New Scooby-Doo, there's no way that water should be that brown. The second thing Travolta failed to take into account with his "there's nothing you could do to possibly get a jump on me" assertion was Walmart brand Ewok Ex Machina. Just roll the clip. Okay, so this next scene I'm not going to be able to show on YouTube, okay? If you want to see it, just look it up yourself, alright? But The girl goes ahead and gets in the bath, still completely unaware that her boyfriend, Tommy, has been murdered by a snowman. She gets into the bath, right? And all of a sudden, a carrot pops up through the water. Bloop! All of a sudden, all of the water turns to ice and she's trapped. And Jack Frost arises from the bathtub. The carrot's not up here, though. It's a little bit lower, and Jack Frost fricks the girl to death. He fricks her to death. And you know what? I'll give it to the movie, okay? After that scene, Jack Frost hits me with one of the greatest one-liners I may have ever heard. And he says,
"Looks like Christmas came a little early this year."
Holden's character traits include getting fucking destroyed in a bus accident. And just as much as not making any sense is a staple of this film. Ending every single scene with evil laughter is just as much of a common occurrence. Either the script writing is incredibly lazy, or the entirety of the cast suffers from pseudo-bobar. One spectacular wipe cut later, and we find ourselves with John Travolta in a bar where apparently the only drink that is served appears to be Shrek's go-go juice. Really more upset about a puddle on the floor than her own son's decapitation. That's gotta be one of the stupidest gags I've ever seen. What kind of crackhead shot was that? The show then takes us to the other two characters, whose names are Jack and Rosie. You know, like Jack and Rose from the Titanic. If you're gonna steal names, it's generally advised not to use the names of the most famous couple in cinema history. That being said, the names were the only thing that was stolen, because this man certainly did not get Leonardo DiCaprio's charisma.
So, why did you volunteer to work at a hospital?
I got arrested. Beats juvie.
I don't believe for a second, alright, that this character is a street-hardened criminal, alright? If somebody asked me to guess what crime he had committed, the best thing I'd be able to come up with is counterfeiting My Little Pony stickers. Alright, that is the extent to which any sort of bad boy vibes radiate from this character. However, the script is completely undeterred by the fact that the character playing the criminal looks like he wet his bed until the age of 12, and...
What about you?
I just love to help people.
For real?
Ooh, he's really giving off those bad boy vibes now. That's not the truth. I need to come clean to you guys. That's not the real reason I kept pushing this project back. The truth is, I was afraid. I was afraid of getting my shit absolutely rocked by this man right here. His name is Uwe Boll. He's the filmmaker who's responsible for this week's movie, Alone in the Dark, and he is notorious for taking his critics on in the boxing ring.
Just movies, but I heard that they're they're not good.
The cultural shift from saying Merry Christmas to Happy Holidays is not a very significant revelation, okay? Also, in case you guys are unfamiliar, this man, his name is Dennis Prager, okay? And he is the single biggest pussy that this world has ever seen, okay? Like, after you've defeated all of the other pussies, Dennis Prager emerges from a fissure in the earth, and he is the final boss. He is King Pussy, okay? This guy is such an absolute loser, it's kind of ridiculous. Georgia's the girl from the Just Dance ad, and she's famous on TikTok because her sister is famous on TikTok for doing 15-second dances. So she's basically twice removed from talent, right? Because being a TikTok influencer is already a pretty talentless title. But she only got that title because her sister was a TikTok influencer. So, naturally, the extent of her acting is, again, just rolling her eyes. Bringing back an old classic from this channel, something the frickers and frickettes haven't seen in a while, but for those of you who have been here from the beginning, you'll remember this bit. Ah, yes. The good old outfit change in the middle of a video. Now let's get back to where we were, shall we? Oh, not only was it an outfit change, it was also a scenery change. I'm really hitting home on that inconsistency in this video. The end of those 7 days is when they're going to revolt. Now, keep in mind that the Cyclos have the advantage in both numbers and technology. However, if they're all as dumb as Travolta is, then I guess I can see it being a fair fight. Alright, so here's their plan. They're gonna stage a revolt inside of the Cyclo complex, which will bring all of the Cyclos inside of the complex with them in an attempt to quell the rebellion. And once all of them are in, the humans are gonna blow the glass that surrounds the complex, and since the Cyclos don't have their breathing masks on when they're inside of their own complex, they will die because they can't breathe. And then they're gonna send some dude to blow up the entire Cyclo planet before they can send reinforcements. Let me remind you, they plan on figuring out how to do all of that in 7 days. Shit. While it does seem that the dialogue in this film was written by a monkey who was given a crayon, I would still like to hear it. Making sure the music doesn't drown out what the character's saying isn't very hard to do, but the people behind this film makes it seem like it was freaking rocket science. What am I joking? I already tried to do this take. But basically, we have 5 times as many subscribers as Vatican City, alright? That's crazy, alright? If we went to war against the Pope, we would win. 5 times as many people. Alright, what are you gonna do, Pope Francis? Baptize my butthole, bitch! I'm going to hell for that line.
Hey, YouTube. This is Wacky Red 15, and I'm gonna make a phone call to Rarity.
Excuse me, did you just say his name was Wanky Red 14? Wanky Red 14? I thought I had a good username. ARC, flows off the tongue, stands for something, another react channel, alright? Which is a joke within the title itself, so we already have a joke before you even get to the content, alright? But then this titan of usernames, this Goliath of creativity comes at me with Ranky Red 14, and I have never felt stupider.
He works in the bass fishing shop. That's pretty cool.
Bass fishing shop? Did you know that if you go down south, Bass Pro Fishing, they built a goddamn pyramid.
Okay, I don't know why you're cursing.
They built a pyramid.
What do you mean they built a pyramid in the south?
They have a pyramid.
A pyramid?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
One of their locations is a pyramid. Because they're so wealthy from, like, fish.
I mean, they have one in South Carolina.
Yeah. Bass Pro Fishing.
That's pretty cool though, right?
Yeah, I wish I had a pyramid.
Because for climate control and all, climate change, you would need
a pyramid?
Marine biologist.
Oh, marine biologist.
There are only 2 people in existence who could possibly look at this film and say, huh, it's got some pretty good attention to detail. The first would be John Travolta himself, who said in an interview, Battlefield Earth is the Schindler's List of sci-fi. Travolta, what? And the second person would be Helen Keller. And I'm not even talking about Helen Keller when she was alive. I'm talking about Helen Keller now, blind, deaf, and dead. Also, a side note before we jump into this, I recently picked up Adobe After Effects in conjunction with my also recently picked up Adobe Premiere, and let me tell you, editing is really goddamn hard. Okay, in my last video there was a camera shake effect for about 3 seconds. It took me maybe 3 hours to figure out how to do that, okay? So if you see a camera shake in this video or any other effect, know that I'm struggling for you guys. Whew. The least you can do is subscribe, please. This person wrote, Madame Gazelle can suck my dick. Heart face, heart face, heart face, heart face, heart face, heart face, sweating face, sweating face, sweating face, sweating face, Heart face, heart face, heart face, heart face, kissy 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 face, and they got 1 like. The director of this movie clearly had a talent for directing, right? Because the way things were filmed and the way shots were constructed was actually done pretty well. it's just such a shame that the director used their talent for directing to focus the viewer's attention on literal child ass. Anyway, Henry says something about hunting laws as if there are hunting laws that apply to velociraptors, and then the cave demo starts.
Fire in the hole! He was right. It's completely hollow. All right, boys, let's get some excavators up in there.
Uh-oh. That's a very bad sign. You know bad CGI is inbound when people's legs start disappearing because of shitty green screen effects. Ah! Right on cue. That guy's scream sounded like Animal from the Muppets.
Now, I'm not sure if I showed this part of the movie, but in the very beginning, the son made this disgusting looking oatmeal concoction that looked like wet, chunky diarrhea and put it into a bag for his father. That is what was in that bag that the sheriff just pushed into Jack Frost's face. Are you telling me that he survived an explosion and being shoved inside of a furnace and that his real weakness is oatmeal?
Honey, what did you put in the oats?
Antifreeze. And so it would appear that that is not what you're telling me. What you're telling me is that the son tried to poison his own goddamn father. Who the hell puts antifreeze in oatmeal unless they're trying to murder the person they're feeding it to?
And then I'll need a really big boy to look after me.
Big boy?
This guy. Okay. There's all sorts of things that turn dudes on, right? Things that she could have said that would make him forget his fears, you know, and and rethink a situation. Be like, you know, maybe this isn't so bad. Calling him Big Boy? How the hell did that work? Hey, Big Boy. Anywho, what follows the Big Boy comment is the least sexy stripping scene in any movie I have ever seen. Because keep in mind, both of these characters are fully decked out in their winter clothing. They got layers on layers on layers. I'm gonna reenact a few guys real quick, alright? Stay put. Hey, Big Boy. Are you ready to frick now, huh?
Throughout the year, I take things from my family and they think that it's missing. Then on Christmas, I give it back to them.
This bitch is literally living out the plot of The Grinch, stealing Christmas and then giving it right back. And on that day, her heart grew 3 times bigger. And so did the gap in her teeth. The wipe cut. Spoiler alert, 87.6, no. 96, I'd say 96%. 96% of scenes in this movie end with a wipe cut. It makes me feel like this entire thing was edited in an iMovie. Right, so the wipe cut transition leads us into a cave with Barry Pepper and all of his cave-dwelling buddies. And Barry Pepper starts going on some rant about gods and demons and exploring the world beyond their cave system. All while doing some sort of interpretive dance.
Way hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises early in the morning. Shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave.
Is this a good movie? No. Is it exactly what John Travolta and L. Ron Hubbard's coked up Scientologist brainchild would look like? Yeah, they nailed that one pretty well.
Are we going to the mall? It is a mall and sorta, kinda. Voila! This is a joke.
Okay. I am all for stretching the truth a little bit, okay? If you were taking her to a sorta kinda mall, I'd be okay with you calling it a sorta kinda mall. But you took her to a place called Beaver Recycling. That's not a sorta kinda mall. That is a place called Beaver Recycling.
Girl, alarm clock. It's amazing to me how people can throw good items out that are still usable.
Good and usable, okay, are not synonymous terms. Say you're with your girl, right? You're getting frisky. Uh-oh, you forgot condoms. Cling wrap is usable, but is it good? No.
There's a reason the stuff is here. No one wants it. It's trash.
Actually, it's recycling. Anyway, Bureau 713 shows up yet again, and we've got ourselves a heavy metal shootout. Also, one of the zombies knows Kung Fu for some reason. Also, Dick is no longer a dick to the main character after the main character saves the dick cliche. He gets absolutely murked by two more cliches. First, the silhouette of the monster moving cliche, and second, saliva dripping from somewhere above the frame, the subject of the shot noticing the saliva just in time for the monster to kill him cliche.
Like having goats and chickens in our backyard. Hopefully they can't get out.
Alright, based on their wiping habits, okay, it could already be assumed that they are a stinky family, okay? But at least the musk of frugality was contained to them and them alone, okay? The stench didn't escape the walls of their house. But putting a petting zoo in your backyard? Oh, now that's just not fair, okay? Because before, being sheep wasn't bothering the people around you, but now your neighbors have to walk outside every morning, and instead of smelling the roses and smelling the grass and the flowers and hearing the birds chirp, what they're gonna do is they're gonna walk outside, they're gonna hear goats, and then they're gonna smell the smell of what can only be described as unwashed taint. At this point that the movie transports us back to Travolta and Whitaker. Now, quick reminder, their little mining scheme is a secret project between the two of them, and if their superior found out what they were doing, they would be vaporized. So Whitaker takes advantage of this predicament and secretly records Travolta talking about the plan, and then uses said recording to blackmail Travolta for a lion's share of the gold.
I've been thinking, 80-20 is a pretty fair distribution of the gold.
Travolta responds by whipping out his gun and is all like, if I kill you, then there's no way that video's ever gonna get out. What's to stop me from doing it? But Whitaker's like, I made a copy of the video and gave it to a confidential informant. If you kill me, that video is going straight to your superior and you will be vaporized. And then Travolta's like, oh, do you mean this informant? And he whips out the bartender's head, and Whitaker's like, oh shit. Because that was the informant. Now, there's a lot to unpack here. First, how did Travolta find out who had the second tape and decapitate him, all before it was even revealed that the first tape even existed? Second, why was the head there? How did Travolta know that Whitaker was going to blackmail him in that room at that time, let alone so far in advance that he had time to set up the decapitated head so he could whip it out at the end of Whitaker's confrontation? The film opens up at the Lando mining site in Livingston, Montana. Dotted around this mining site are a bunch of explosives, conveniently labeled explosive. However, that's not the only firepower they're packing. For whatever reason, half of the people on this mining site are walking around carrying assault weapons. You know, just in case the rocks decide to put up a fight. Being inanimate objects, they don't.
Fire in the hole!
But, do you know what does put up a fight? Cave raptors.
She was my girl. Just because you swooped in while I was gone, that doesn't change anything.
If I call fives on a seat and then I leave, I expect that chair to still be open when I get back. Because it's completely fine to call dibs on a piece of furniture. And even that expires after 5 minutes. Val is really out here trying to claim that he called dibs on a person 3 years ago, and it still stands. As if it ever stood in the first place. Throughout history, there have been many different names that strike fear into the hearts of all who hear them. You have Stalin, Genghis Khan, Vlad the Impaler, and of course, Moki Cookie _ooh-woo, who says, lol. Butterfly doesn't bink care, lol. Dumb Peppa Pig, yeah, and fat. Woo! Moki Cookie _ooh-woo, why you gotta come for Peppa like that? That's brutal! Oh, wait, they're not done yet. They're coming with another one. They're going to zoo, but they should leave in the zoo, because some of you guys are from farm and zoo, so go away. You don't belong in Earth. Oh!
I don't buy toilet paper. I use newspapers that we get free in town.
That family is probably in possession of the most battle-hardened anuses this world has ever seen. Just think about all the scar tissue that's built up after years of paper cuts every single time they wipe. It probably looks like the goddamn Sarlacc pit back there. Oh, and also, they don't flush. They take the used newspaper and they throw it in a bag, and then they burn it when it gets full.
Making sure the lights are not being used.
We do have electricity. See? It's on. That's it. I'm not going to waste any more.
Okay, let me get this straight. To save money, they share one bathtub, they don't flush their toilet, and they don't use electricity. Yet they have an entire wall of Blu-ray DVDs? Why are they saving money by living like cave people instead of saving money by just not buying Skyline for Blu-ray? Skyline isn't even a good movie. In fact, it's a patently awful movie.
People a lot of times think some of my methods are a little extreme. They think I'm a little crazy. But I don't know if I care because it works.
Child services is just gonna show up at her door and she's gonna be screaming, "I'm not crazy, okay, it works!" And then her children are gonna walk out of the basement looking like the skeletons from Minecraft, and child services are just gonna look at them and be like, well, I mean, she says it works.
Jordan has found some of the biggest savings in the bathroom, cutting her family's use of toilet paper from 300 rolls a year to only 40.
We ran into this problem with all of the cheapskates before this one, but I'm gonna say it again. You're really rationing the wrong stuff. Hop back onto a horse after his tragic story of how one time he broke his shoulder while bull riding and then beat his girlfriend. A real tragic story that makes you empathize with the character, you know? But now, he sees a horse, and in slow motion that horse is galloping, and Val gets on top of that horse with guns shoved up his butthole. Oh, not just any guns, by the way, loaded guns. Loaded guns shoved up his butthole.
So how many eggs will each chicken lay?
Chicken will lay an egg about every 26 hours.
Oh, that's awesome. That's like half dozen a day.
That... Side note, why does the son-in-law dress like a middle schooler? He looks like Chicken Little if Chicken Little was attempting to blend in with humans. First, lights start flickering to indicate something spooky is happening, cliche. Second, security man with only a flashlight walking around and calling out, "Is anybody there?" right before he gets absolutely wrecked, cliche. Third, fast-moving creature darts across the screen and the security man with the flashlight whips around and just misses it, only for the creature to pop up behind him, cliche. Right, so Edward and Miss Cedric, they stumble upon the body and they start running away as the monster gives chase. Now, it's this following scene that really sells just how committed Edward is to his job as a paranormal investigator. He is so committed to the paranormal that he goes out of his way to try and become a ghost himself. The man has an absolute death wish. Bum ba Bureau 713 Ex Machina. That's the first comment. Time for the next one. Foozy8 418. It looks like a worm is having sex. Lol. Hey Siri, pull up a video of worms having sex. No. That can't No. That can't be real. Why are there two of them? Why does he have two? And according to Google, code blue means, and I quote, code blue indicates a naked time traveler from the Crusades is loose in the hospital, using his broad skin sword to strike down any heretic that dares stand in his way on his quest to reclaim the Holy Land. So code blue is pretty fucking serious.
We call it rationing. I'm gonna give you guys some cereal, okay? We're gonna give you 14, so tell me when to stop. Ready?
Are you kidding me? They have 2 ovens, okay? The husband has a fat watch on his wrist, alright? They have a Mac desktop in their kitchen. But no. That stuff was essential. The way to save money is by rationing the Cheerios of the children.
It's basically in my DNA at this point.
That's not dumpster diving in your DNA, that's malaria. Get out of the trash, you raccoon.
One of the main things that I look for when I go dumpster diving now are medications, especially prenatal vitamins.
If you want to go dumpster diving for, I don't know, old furniture or something, you know, there's no harm in that. But going dumpster diving for prescription medication? I'm pretty sure that was literally a lyric in Dumb Ways to Die.
By foraging through dumpsters behind pharmacies and hospitals, 25-year-old Angel Durr has managed to save more than $350 on vitamins and medications over the course of her 8-month pregnancy.
That's gotta be child abuse, right? This woman's probably like, oh, God, this is the 22nd time I've been pregnant. I don't know why I keep losing the kid. Well, back to my trash medicine. What is up, Frickles and Forgets, and welcome back to the Arctic. In today's episode, I will be getting copyright claimed again.
You just keep your townsfolk out of my line of fire, and we'll get along real fine.
Sure. A few moments later.
Fucker's a snowman! Oh.
What's up, Frickles and Forgets, and welcome back to another episode of I'm Too Lazy to Do My Hair, so instead I'm just gonna wear a hat. Boom! Now I know it's been a while since you guys have seen this glorious backdrop, and more importantly, this glorious face. Anyway, after Travolta decides that uncooked rat is the human's favorite food without a shadow of a doubt, he goes to collect the 4 humans. However, what he didn't expect was that Johnny had a masterful, expert plan. See, when Travolta's airship arrives, get this, Johnny throws a stick at it. This man really thinks that twigs are the solution to everything. First he's using them for medicine, and now he's using them for anti-aircraft weaponry. Not surprisingly, his stick wasn't very effective, and Travolta rounds up the humans, except for the one he decides to drop off a cliff. That has to be the hands down least efficient way to use an axe. Like, I understand that you're a snowman, right? You don't have a brain, you just got snow.
Now for Grandma.
Now for Grandma. She's got this big ass box. She pulls out all of Grandma's heart medication, her wheelchair, her dialysis machine. Grandma's just convulsing on the floor. And she's like, Merry Christmas, here's all the stuff I stole. But then Quaid shows up with the rest of the dinosaur.
You all thought that old Quaid had lost his marbles. It's a mountain lion.
My name's Angel Durr, and I am literally the biggest cheapskate in Texas.
This girl looks like the girl from Brave if the girl from Brave ate the girl from Brave. Let me get this straight, alright? Val, the main character, the protagonist, the man that this movie wants us to root for, was a drunken, drug-infused domestic abuser. And what? The movie wants us to feel empathetic for him because he was injured and upset, you know, because he broke his shoulder during a bull riding accident? Ouch! I stubbed my toe. Guess I'll burn down an orphanage now, and you can't hold me accountable for my actions because I am injured and upset.